Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Who Stuff Discuss video. Once again, we apologise, not all of us are here. We're down two this week, or this time around, so maybe one day all five of us all joining on a podcast again. Today we're looking at something different. So often we talk about our favourite Doctor Who stories within what some weird fans would call canon, but today we're looking at the expanded media, so Big Finish book ranges, Target books, all sorts, because there is so much out there apart from just the regular seasons of Doctor Who, and there is so much to talk about. For me, just picking three of them, which we've all three of us done, just three expanded media stories, it's been really hard, so I'm going to get on with my three. My first story, which is from expanded media, which I absolutely love, is The Horror of Glam Rock, the Big Finish story, only the third in the Lucy Miller range. So often from this first series of stories, you hear people talk about Blood of the Daleks to get into the Big Finish. You hear people talking about Human Resources. To the two parts to that is fantastic, which personally I don't go much on. No one talks about the other six stories that are wedged in between. This one, which comes third in the series, is fantastic. It is one of my favourite Big Finish audios out there. I hope I'm not alone in saying that. I don't think I am, but it's so brilliant. Bernard Cribbins is in it, which anything that Bernard Cribbins is in, you just can't go wrong with. It's before he got involved with Doctor Who, so you don't have to have any rows about that. It's brilliant. It's not the best story out there, admittedly. The plot's not anything amazing, but it's the Eighth Doctor, it's Lucy Miller, and it's old Bernard Cribbins. What's not to love? And then that's my only Big Finish audio of the three. The next two are two books. A Target book that I've chosen is a recent release of Rose by Russell T Davies. I love this one only because not only is it an expansion of the story, which in itself is such a brilliant and creative story, but there's so much expansion in this book. Even the first few pages expand on what happens below in the cellar before the episode even begins. There's a big backstory about, I've forgotten his name, but Russell T Davies does such a fantastic job of going, you know, we had the 50 minutes in 2005, I'm going to expand on that, and I'm sure there were script notes left over and notes that he had that he thought, what the hell, let's include it in this book. And it's one of the reasons why I love it. I ploughed through it within about 2 days, which is very unusual for me when it comes to book. I'm normally stuck on it for weeks and weeks, and it's such an enjoyable read. I'm sure you've picked it up already, but if you haven't, pick it up. And my final one is Plague City by Jonathan Morris, one of the Series 10 12th Doctor novels. Again, another really enjoyable story. There's nothing that stands out here. It's just the 12th Doctor, Bill Potts and Nardole going on an adventure once again. But it's my personal highlight of the Series 10 novels, and it's incredibly enjoyable. There are so many more I could have picked, but we're restricted to three, and I'm interested to hear what the others' picks are.
So I've only experienced my three picks once, so it's not entirely fresh in my head because all of them I read or listened to over a year ago now. But my first one is the 11. It's part of one of the Doom Coalition box sets in Big Finish, I think. I'm not too sure. I listened to this when the Doctor Who YouTube channel were doing the live streams of Big Finish stories, and I tuned in for that one because it took my interest and thought it was really good. Can't remember much about the story now. All I really remember is the 11 and the kind of personality thing he has, which I think's quite interesting, to be honest. It's an interesting idea for a Time Lord to have all their incarnations still in their head and still kind of in there talking, which I think's quite interesting. And the 8th Doctor's quite cool too, and it's great to have adventures with him in Big Finish, and I haven't listened to much of it, so it's quite good listening to that. So yeah, not too much I can really remember about that, but other two are books. First one, Prisoner of the Daleks. Amazing, and I don't think I'm alone in loving this book. It's so good. Daleks were just amazing, the plot was great, side characters too. I just read it from start to finish. I don't really do that with most books, but it's just really enjoyable, and I really recommend you pick it up because I honestly think it's one of the best Doctor Who books out there. And another great one is Touched by an Angel. Again, just a brilliant book. It's amazing. Just the whole thing, the angels and the car crash and him trying to save... I shouldn't spoil it, but yeah, it's just great. It's honestly, those two books alone are probably some of my favourite bits out of Doctor Who, and I definitely recommend to any fan that they should read those.
So I'm just going to second what Ollie said there about Touched by an Angel, because this would definitely be on mine, but of course he was including it, so for variety's sake, picked another one because there is so many I could choose from. But yeah, Touched by an Angel is a fantastic book. I remember I got it in that 2014 collection of paperbacks out of the three, back when I didn't really read that much, but I was starting to get into reading, and this was one of the first books I properly read, and it was by far my favourite out of the three. I loved it, and I've read it a couple of times now, and it's very good. But yeah, I've picked a book, an audio, and a comic just for variety's sake. Starting off with the audio, kind of a cheat because I'm not picking an individual one. I'm just saying the whole box set of the War Master Derek Jacobi set, Only the Good. It is absolutely fantastic. I don't get that much Big Finish, but some of the ones I've listened to I do really like, and this is definitely a highlight. It is so good. Of course, Derek Jacobi is a brilliant actor, and I mean, in Doctor Who, he didn't really get much time as the Master, because even that one episode where he was most of the time thinking he was human. He had the stopwatch thing, so he wasn't really playing the role of the Master until right at the end, and he only got about 5 minutes of that. So it's so great to see him properly embrace the role, and he's fantastic as him in this box set. He's wonderful. There's some great storylines in it, and some great characters as well. It's just such a great set. I really love it, and I really recommend it. Then we've got my comic. I'm going to go with the Third Doctor Titan Comics collection. I love Titan Comics. I love getting the big collected versions that have about 5 or so issues. And there was lots of ones I could have picked, but I'm going to especially go with the Third Doctor one. I mean, I love the Third Doctor's era, so it fits really well in comic form, because the imagery of the era, Unit and Bessie, they look so retro in it and so cool, and it's such a fun one to read. It's so fun, so of the era, and it's brilliant, and the artwork just looks stunning, as I say, with Bessie and all the big unit explosions and everything. It's fantastic, really, really fun, action-packed comic. Finally, I'm going to go with another one of the Series 10 trilogy of books, The Shining Man. I mean, I love all three of them. I totally agree with what TF said about Plague City. It's a brilliant trilogy of books, and The Shining Man, for me, by Cavan Scott, is absolutely fantastic. As like all three of them, it feels like a real expansion of Series 10, because it gets the Doctor and Bill so right. It gets their characters down to a T. You can literally imagine them saying what they're saying. They're so well written, and that's one of the things that makes the story so good. The villain is very interesting. It's a very nice villain, and there's some great references. Even the villain has a sort of link to a Torchwood one, and there's some very good obscure references in there. It's such a fun read. I really love it, and probably my favourite out of that trilogy of books. But it's very good. So yeah, that's my 3.
So that's our 3. All brilliant media. I have to say, I nearly put Prisoner of the Daleks on my list. I read that over Christmas. Brilliant book, I have to say.
I have to admit, I haven't read that one yet, so I'll definitely have to try and pick that up.
You should.
Definitely. Anyway, I'm sure that the other two will put their 3 choices in the comments. They couldn't be bothered to come along to this call, so the least they can do is put it in the damn comment section. Thank you very much for watching.
That's not going to happen.
See you.
That's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
I'm being wishful here. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video, whatever that may be.
Bye.